long time coming to have AEW pay-per-view in Philadelphia, and I hope it is the first of many. It was an absolutely fantastic crowd, start to finish. Thank you all for being here. It means a lot, all of you coming to cover the show. And we've got a few of the great wrestlers who wrestled on tonight's show coming in, and then I'll take a few questions, and thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And with that,
guys, give it up for still our AEW Women's Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. Woo.
Center stage, champ.
Oh, I get to switch to you. Come on in here, Luther. You want to sit down? You stand.
I took the belt piece apart, as is the tradition of Scrum. Reassembling the belt.
Toni, lovely to see you. A huge congratulations on retaining your championship tonight against Megan Bain. Physically, how are you holding up?
I mean, look at the state of me. I look great. And as per my vintage, I have prepared a written statement. Firstly, will the owner of the black and orange 1996 Dodge Intrepid with the license plate FTW please move it from the loading dock? You're blocking ring crew. Secondly, I am proud to announce that April 24th, I have been invited to appear on the red carpet for the TCM Film Festival in Hollywood. TCM and AEW have the exact same demographic. I am officially a mainstream celebrity. This is a pivotal moment in our industry for wrestling to return what it truly is, which is good, clean, wholesome family entertainment. Thirdly...
You sure about this one?
There once was a man from Nantucket whose cock was so big he could suck it. Whoa. He said with a grin, wiping jizz from his chin, if my ear were a pussy, I'd fuck it. Oh. And now, any questions?
This is the late night program, everybody. Any questions, guys? What do we got?
Can't censor the world champion.
No.
Oh, nothing needs to be censored.
Hi, my name is Amber Nicole. I'm from Body Slam, and I just wondered, what's next for you, champ?
Well, bloody great big Cajun seafood dinner, if you ask me. But on Wednesday, on Dynamity, I will be addressing all the women of the Owen Hart tournament, won't I?
Well, I think that's a great idea. Given the top contenders in the Owen Hart tournament, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially now that you've successfully defended your championship here at Aew Dynasty. I know there's a lot of great women in line for a shot at the AEW Women's World Title at AEW All In, and I would love to hear from you on Wednesday.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to you, and maybe we'll leave the limericks in the.
Oh, that's what I got. Don't worry.
Questions for the champ.
Dave Melanger, Sports Talk Philadelphia. Can you just talk about your ring attire tonight, coming out with the Rocky theme and everything?
What do you mean? Rocky? Oh, come on, guys. Let's ask some controversial questions so I can storm out of here. Let's get some clicks. Come on.
Italian stallion.
Come on, ask me what you really want to ask.
Awesome. Hi, this is Derrick T. Lewis from Believe Network and the D-Lew podcast. I've been wanting to know for a long time, how close are we to getting that one-on-one match between you and Wendy Richter?
I've been asking that question every fucking day.
Well, shit, I think it takes two to tango. So, I think at any point, if she would love to come in, we'd love to have her. But I do think, that being said, there's a lot of competition lined up, contemporary competition lined up for you, champ.
He's been ducking and dodging me for years, the old tart.
A lot of contenders closer to your own age out there.
Yes, as in very young, yes.
But you are timeless.
Hello, champ.
Darling.
My name is Courtney Rice. I'm from Women's Wrestling Talk, and yes, we support all women's wrestling.
Beautiful.
Congratulations, champ, on retaining the title.
Thank you.
And you mentioned about the Owen Hart Women's Tournament, and we did see a match where Mercedes Moné beat Julia Hart in one of the rounds. And is there a woman in particular that you have your eye on throughout this tournament?
No woman in particular. Come on. Give me the biggest slop tart you've got. I don't care who it is. And they're all they're wonderful, they're fantastic, and everyone's beautiful and really, really talented. But I'm better than everyone. Now come on, controversial questions. I need to get out of here.
Better make this count.
Yes, I will. Hi, Champ, how are you?
Darling.
Great. My name's Malcolm, muscle memory. I would like to ask you, Toni Storm, what is your Waffle House order?
Malcolm.
Hi.
Malcolm.
Hi.
Oh, Malcolm.
Sorry.
Oh, God, Malcolm. Oh, Malcolm, I can't. I'm sorry.
Bye, Champ. I understand.
Malcolm. Oh,
I'm so sorry.
Malcolm.
You said controversial.
You blew it, Malcolm.
You set her off.
Malcolm.
You said controversial.
Set her off.
Bloody Malcolm over here.
That's the way to end any press conference.
No,
The way to end any.
sorry.
All right.
Rarely at a loss for
Rest up. Truly at a loss for words. A man that I'm assuming probably has a couple things to say. Please welcome Anthony Bowens. Anthony, so good to see you back here in AEW. What a great reception for you tonight, taking out Max Caster. I was wondering if you've had a chance to hear some of the remarks that he said since your guys' match.
Unfortunately, yes, I have. I'm not particularly sure what I should say to that. I believe he told me that I was riding his coattails and that I needed him the entire time, but buddy, I think he's way more delusional than I thought he was. I think that's the best way to start. I think the truth is he wouldn't have the opportunity to even be doing the things that he's doing now without me, considering how many times I saved him from fines, how many times I've saved his job because he couldn't keep his mouth shut with his shitty raps every single week.
That's true.
That is
a true story.
Very true. So he needs to shut his mouth. He needs to do us all a favor and burn his boots and go back to his little rap tour and continue being the worst rapper alive. So that will conclude my comments on Max Caster, and let's talk about positive things and the future of the 5-tool player at AEW. Any questions?
Bill Pritchard, WrestleZone. You went back to the 5-tool player moniker. It's something you used before you got to AEW.
Yes.
Just wanted to get your feelings on going back to that, and then you also have a slogan, the Pride of Pro Wrestling. Just talk to me about the new branding and moving on from the Acclaimed.
Yeah, the 5-tool player was something that I was doing before I joined AEW and the whole Acclaimed rise happened. It's something that's been a part of me. 5-tool player is a term for a baseball superstar, and I am wrestling's 5-tool player, the perfect combination of power, athleticism, intelligence, the look, and the it factor. It's something that I'm really excited to bring forth, and I hope people really enjoy it. The Pride of Pro Wrestling, I think it speaks for itself. I represent this company very proudly. I am out doing everything that I can to try and bring this company into the mainstream. And of course, my LGBTQ plus activism, I think it's a beautiful play on words. And it was a moment that I have been dreaming about for a very, very long time. And I'm lucky enough to have the presentation that I wanted to put forth with Toni was able to get the song that I've been wanting to come out to since college. Like I heard it's Underground by Jane's Addiction. I heard it like this is the perfect professional wrestling song. It just fits me like a glove. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So we were able to get that, and of course I can move on as well. Having Billy with me, Billy has been, I always say he's been a guiding light for us ever since he joined the Acclaimed and really helped steer the ship upwards and towards success.
Yeah, hi, Buster with BTA Philly. Question for everybody at the table. Drums or flats?
What?
What?
Drums or flats?
Drums or flats?
Chicken wings?
Drums or
Oh,
flats?
drums.
We're talking wings.
Drums. I'm a drums guy. Douse it in barbecue.
I'm a Fox gal.
All right.
We would be a good pair going to get wings then. We could
Oh, yeah, you would never eat in your
line.
Drums. Or cross-based chicken.
Hi, Derrick T. Lewis with Believe Network and the D-Lew podcast. I just got to ask you, talk about the ovation for when you came out and that crowd, really giving you that ovation. Talk about that and how that made you feel for the first time.
It's always scary when you go away for a little bit and then you come back. I mean, it's my first time doing it, but you always hear that you have this anxiety about will they care, will they remember you? I mean, of course, I believe they would remember me, but would they care enough to go that crazy? And I was a ball of nerves waiting for that music to hit, and the second it dropped and people reacted, it was incredible. We got pyro too, which is really cool. Those concussions are so loud that they usually scare me, but I didn't even feel them because I was so in the zone and I was so just excited to be out there. And I got to thank the city of Philadelphia for showing up for the 5-tool player and really giving me a moment that I'll never, ever forget.
2 more questions, guys.
Hey Anthony, welcome back. We've been missed.
Thank you.
The question is now, going forward, are you teaming up with Billy for the tag titles? Are you going for the single golds? What's next?
I think we've accomplished everything that I've wanted to accomplish as a tag team. Despite my feelings with Max, the Acclaimed are one of the best tag teams in the history of AEW. I'm pretty sure we still have the most wins in the history of the company as a tag team. So I would gladly tag them again if he needs to back me up. But right now I'm focused on becoming a singles competitor and achieving my goals. I am fully prepared to do everything I can to work hard to continue to earn everything I have in the singles division. I fully intend to win gold. I would love to be AEW's first gay singles champion. So I have a lot of things that I'd like to accomplish, and that all starts right now.
How's it going? Josh Chernoff, Triller TV. Having followed your career before you got to AEW, and a lot of people in the tri-state area are familiar with you, your gear that you wore tonight was kind of going back to a style that you had before, with the entrance gear. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What's the inspiration for that unique attire?
I'm glad you asked that because I'm very happy with the gear. I think it looks fire. So that was a blend of, again, before AEW I was doing a 5-tool player thing, but before that I had this kind of weird Power Ranger character that I was doing, and I would wear this almost like Koopa shell. It's supposed to be a dragon shield, but it looked kind of goofy. So I was trying to figure out a way to make it seem a little bit more sporty and combine those 2 characters that I was doing in the past and make it a really cool TV presentation. And I think my gear team knocked it out of the park and it came together very well. I got to thank everybody on the production side for making the entrance look super cool. Everything came together perfectly tonight, and again, I'm just excited for the future.
Bowens, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back.
Thank you, everybody. Throw your scissors
Very
up.
exciting.
We're very happy to have you back. Thank you. It's a real honor. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you, buddy. See you.
All right, we'll move on here with our press conference. Please welcome our new TNT champion, Aew, baby.
Okay. Bet. Thanks for coming, everybody. Jimmy Metal here to get the belt right here. Oh, sure. Of course. Get you set up there, and it stayed in one piece for you. Renee's got the magic touch.
Beautiful.
First try. Nice. Let's go, champ.
Aew, congratulations
Thank you.
on tonight to be here in Philly. The 17-year anniversary of you as a pro wrestler. How important was tonight for you to bring this gold back home?
God, so again, anytime there's any sort of anniversary for me in wrestling specifically, then you go back and you kind of reminisce on the most special and important moments of your career, and this one has got to be towards the top. I mean, just considering the past few years, kind of the struggles that I've gone through with the head injuries, and then obviously 6 months later, then my ankle exploded, and that took over a year to come back from. So mentally, it was really discouraging. And then to fast forward, again, April 6th, 2008, I had my very first match here in Philadelphia. And then to fast forward, April 6th, 2025, and to win my first singles championship here in AEW against a guy who I really respect in Danny Garcia was incredibly special. I'll never forget it.
Awesome, congratulations. I will open up the floor to you guys.
Adam, thanks. Bill Bach and thepopbreak.com. Something you said was about a lot of the mental struggle you had to go through with the 2 injuries. I think one thing with AEW, when you guys talk about mental health, where it was, with Mental Health Awareness Month, I think it means a lot to people when wrestlers open up about their struggles and how they overcame it. So can you talk about the process that you did to be so positive and to come back? Because a lot of people wouldn't just give it up.
Sure, yeah. So I generally try to be as positive as I possibly can, but like you had mentioned in that particular scenario, it was kind of challenging to stay optimistic, but the biggest thing without question was the support I had from my family, from my friends, and from this company. Like I never felt alone. I never felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to or discuss it. And I had so much love and support the whole way through where I had no choice but to stay positive and no choice but to stay optimistic. So I'm very thankful for the people who are close to me and the people in my life who I really do cherish and who really care about me. So that was the biggest thing. I don't know if I would have gotten through it if I didn't have the love and support from the people around me.
I hope you don't mind if I say that you're here because you love this. You made the comeback because you love this. There was nobody forced you to come back into wrestling. I tried to make it as clear as possible, especially the head injury, that if I want you in AEW for life, you're going to be a part of this team. You're going to be a career in pro wrestling, even if you never step back in that ring again. And I didn't want to force him. And there was a time when I didn't know if you would ever be back. And to think that you're here and you had this moment 17 years after your very first match, it's pretty crazy.
So cool. So cool.
Dave Melanger, Sports Talk Philadelphia. Adam, can you just talk about what it mean to win the championship in AEW's first pay-per-view event in Philadelphia?
Oh my God, yeah. Again, it means the absolute world. And there's so many different factors of why it's so important. First of all, the TNT Championship is a very prestigious, very important title within AEW. Second of all, again, like I had mentioned, the fact that it was in Philadelphia, a city that is so important to me. I mean, not only did I train and have my first match in Philadelphia, but like I went to all the wrestling shows as a kid in Philadelphia. It's just such an important city to me and my history and my love of pro wrestling. My family was in the audience tonight. There were just so many cool factors about tonight that made it so special. And then also too, like again, when we're talking about those mental challenges that you went through, like when you first come back, there always is that little bit of insecurity. Like, am I gonna move the same? Am I gonna be the same? Am I gonna be able to be the wrestler I was before? And kind of getting out of your own way and going, damn right I can. And I feel like tonight I proved that. So not only is this incredibly rewarding, but I feel like Adam Cole's back.
Hell yeah. 2 more questions, guys.
Okay, Bill Pritchard, WrestleZone. We've seen some different designs for the TNT title over the years. Any thoughts on maybe doing a custom one, or maybe you want to make the request now?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Definitely something I maybe want to consider now. I think this title's beautiful, but who knows? Maybe I'll put some Bay on there at some point.
Right behind him. Josh Shernoff, Triller TV. I don't want to take anything away from this because this is huge for you, and congratulations, of course. A couple of years ago, you were the inaugural winner of the Owen Hart tournament as well. Back then, that did not immediately lead to a world title match at All In the way that it does today. Looking at that accolade you had before, looking at this and looking at that tournament and where those competitors this year are headed, are you seeing this as a potential to maybe quickly move towards that main event world title picture?
I think at the end of the day, any wrestler in AEW who says they don't want to be the AEW World Champion is lying or kidding themselves. And like you had said about winning the inaugural Owen Hart tournament, about being the TNT champion, I'm going to defend this championship and hold it proudly. but absolutely being 100% transparent. Of course, being the AEW World Champion is absolutely my goal, and I think stuff like this is moving me closer and closer to making that dream come true. So yeah, no question, I'm absolutely still focused on becoming the AEW World Champion. Maybe a double champ, who knows?
Well, Adam Cole, congratulations. Glad to see the Adam Cole back, feeling the way that he should, with that gold around his waist here in Philly.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone. Thank you, actually. Thank you.
Safe drive home, bud.
Bye, everyone. Nice stuff.
I will. Yeah, I will.
Now, Tony, it's you and I.
Let's go.
Here we are. All right, we'll open up the floor to everybody here. Let them rifle off some questions.
It's great to have you here. I really appreciate you all being here tonight. Thank you very much. It means a lot.
How you doing, Tony? Politics and Hog still steps all over the Talk Sports Network. Tony, it's been incredible that All Elite Wrestling is now 6 years old. Throughout this journey, I'd love to hear about what you consider the most humbling experience of running a professional wrestling promotion.
There's two. The first one was they're both unfortunately the most serious situations. I think what brings you into focus and puts everything in perspective. I think the two most challenging, humbling situations that put everything in wrestling in AEW into focus. The first one would be when we lost the late great Mr. Brody Lee. We just had the TNT champion walk out, the brand new TNT champion. I think quite possibly the greatest TNT champion of all time is the late great Mr. Brody Lee. And when he passed away, I think having to continue a show and put on a show that really paid tribute to a man who loved his family and loved pro wrestling, and that's what everybody would say about the late great Mr. Brody Lee. I think that was the most important show that we had done, and I think it's considered to be one of the greatest wrestling TV shows of all time. And again, it put everything in perspective and put the spotlight on a man who really deserved it, which is the late great Mr. Brody Lee. And you know, that TNT championship and the champion who just left that title has a great legacy, and it's important when we talk about it to talk about Brody. And I think that would really, the idea of having to put a show together that was a tribute show, and also to have John's family, Brody's family there, and everybody in AEW rally around them and put a show together for them to pay tribute to somebody who was so important to all of us and to them, and give him a proper send-off, and have to do that on a few days' notice and put something together at a challenging time for everyone, and really make a moment that is befitting Mr. Brody Lee's legacy. The other one I can think of that was very challenging would be when the late great Jay Briscoe passed away. I had only worked with the Briscoes in ROH, and to be able to bring Mark Briscoe into AEW and to pay a proper tribute to my friend, the late great Jay Briscoe, it was a different circumstance, and they're each their own thing. They're both very unique, but I would say these are for different reasons, but both because they put everything into perspective, and they were the two most challenging situations I've ever been involved with. I think those are the two most humbling experiences I've had as a wrestling promoter, and two great friends I lost, and two of the best people I've ever worked with, Mr. Brody Lee and Jay Briscoe. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey Tony, Kevin McElveen, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Checking in on social media at the end of tonight's show, it seemed overall people really loved the show, maybe weren't thrilled about how it ended. When you see responses, you know, whether it's on social media or live crowds, and obviously it's not always about sending people home thrilled, super happy ending. It's not, you know, it's a longer story you're trying to tell. But do you ever consider, or sort of changing the plan, like calling an audible, in other words? You know, you're looking at, like, when there is this large sense of people not being happy with something, do you take that into consideration, or is it just you're going to?
Absolutely, I take that into consideration, and I think you want the fans. We had a lot of great moments for the fans tonight, and Swerve was, offense Renee, the more popular man in the house tonight. The fans really behind Swerve in the arena. You had two of AEW's greatest world champions having this match, and obviously the return of the Young Bucks spoiled what was a really great world championship match on a night where there were a lot of fan favorite moments. That was obviously not necessarily the outcome that a lot of people were hoping for, but on the other hand, I do think that Jon Moxley has been, from the very beginning of AEW, one of the most important figures from the very first pay-per-view we ever did. And it's very interesting now. This creates a lot of intrigue to have the Young Bucks come back. I think it's important to remember is we have not seen the Young Bucks in almost 6 months in AEW. From the very beginning of AEW, the Young Bucks have been instrumental in the launch of the company. They're founding fathers of this company. And to see them come back this way, and really for the Young Bucks to get involved and break up what could have been a great moment for the fans, that is consistent with the kind of character we've seen from the Young Bucks in recent years. I would say it creates an intriguing situation. Certainly the fans are behind Swerve. I think the fans are every bit as behind Swerve today after the pay-per-view as they have been at any point. I think the fans love Swerve. I don't think that the Young Bucks' involvement or them screwing him changes that. I do think for tonight, it was, it creates a very intriguing situation. So I am very aware the fans really love Swerve. He's one of our most popular stars. Jon Moxley's done a lot of great things for the company. Jon Moxley, you could argue, has recently, not just in his history, has recently done great things for the company. I was really very impressed with not only the match, not only the barbaric street fight that John had a few weeks ago with Adam Copeland, and then to get back in the ring so soon after that for the mixed tag match this past week, and then again, I mean, that is enough to put somebody out of action permanently, let alone to come back and have the kind of matches John's had the past couple weeks. Also did a huge number and did the biggest rating the show's done since November. So there has been a lot of interest in what's happening, and certainly I think there was a lot of support for Swerve tonight, but it's certainly going to create an intriguing situation now with the Young Bucks, who are two of our biggest stars ever, coming back and wreaking havoc. It's something to certainly watch for Wednesdays, at least a silver lining for all of us. Thanks for asking, Kevin.
Hey, Tony, Justin Durazio, Sports Radio 94 WIP. Knowing what a big fan of the history of wrestling you are, what are the odds that we see AEW Dynamite or Collision have an episode at the ECW Arena?
The 2300 arena, right? Yeah, I would be very interested in that, truthfully. The first place I ever saw pro wrestling was Champaign, Illinois, which is about 90 miles down the road from where we did TV on Wednesday, where we did Dynamite and Collision this week. And I had never seen a show outside of Champaign until I was 13 years old. I'd only been to wrestling in Champaign. I'd never even been out to Peoria at that point to see a match, even 90 miles down the road. And when I had, I took this admission test when I was 13 years old to go to the University of Illinois laboratory.
At 13 you did that?
Yeah, it was to go to this laboratory high school. It's the top academic high school in the country. I think it's certainly in contention for that. My graduating class, we had the top ACT average in America, and it's an 8 through 12. And when I was 13, my parents kind of forced me to take this test. And the silver lining they gave me, two things. They said, if you take the test, you don't have to go to school, just prove you can do it. And then, if you did, let's just see if you can do it. So I passed it, I got admission, and then my mom in the McDonald's parking lot in Champaign started crying and said, you have to go now. And I said, well, I thought you said I just had to prove I could get in. And she said, you have to go, you did it. And I said, I really don't want to go there. I want to stay with all my friends and not go to, we had only 56 kids in my graduating class. And she said, well, if you do go, we'll do anything within reason. Pretty much what would you really want? What would make you feel good about going there? And I said, I want to go to ECW Arena, and I want to go see the shows that weekend. And so when I was 13, I came here to Philadelphia, and it was the first time I'd ever seen wrestling outside of my hometown, and it was the first time I met most of my best friends in real life. Before it was like a normal thing to have like online friends and people you didn't like interact with in real life. In like 1996, that was not normal, especially when you're like 13 and a lot of your friends are like in college. And we're here tonight at the show. So I would absolutely love to run there. It would be a reunion of some old friends, and I think that would be really cool if we could go to the 2300 Arena sometime. I haven't been there in a long time. Thanks for asking. It's great being here in Philadelphia. Thank you for coming.
A lot of follow-ups after that, but I'll save them for when we're away.
I don't know if it's good way you're questioning the parent. Now as a parent, you can question their parenting, but hopefully that turned out okay. Hey
Tony. When we spoke on Thursday, I asked about the Jericho Bandito match being official. You said there was a reason that it wasn't yet. Based on your answer, and this is my speculation, nothing you said, but I took it as maybe it could be formally announced on Collision, or you said something about having Talon's best interest in mind.
We did announce it formally on Collision, but I also, to your point, I did have Talon's best interest in mind, which was making sure that there was a lot of family lined up to come in, and a lot of things happening this past week, and also wanted to make sure, frankly, that we were able to get the right people here for the right moment that we wanted to have, and I'm really pleased we were. And it really was a great moment. The crowd reaction when Aubrey found the baseball bat, when Bandito's family pointed out a mistake, and that was a really nice thing to see, and it was a great moment for Bandito and his family. They were over the moon, and I was really glad he was able to have that moment. But there were some challenges on the way this week. It was just personal stuff, but it worked out. So that's really, I was just trying to take care of a personal situation there. But I'm really glad we were able to make a great family moment happen on a great show. I saw some people speculating for other reasons why it might be, and I thought those I love reading wrestling speculation. I love reading wrestling discourse. I love wrestling fans. I thought some of the speculation about why we might not be doing it was kind of ridiculous, but it was just a personal thing that worked out, and I'm very glad it was able to happen. And then Thursday, not like maybe maybe 90 minutes after we talked, or an hour after we talked, that situation right after I got off the phone with all of you, it worked out, so I was able to make the announcement formally.
That's why I was like, wait, he just tweeted it out.
Yeah, like I said, it was just people, personal issue worked out.
Yeah.
Hey Tony, so after tonight's show, we saw FTR turning their back on Edge. Is there any updates on Edge's after Edge? Is he injured? Is he going to be out for a couple weeks, a month?
With Adam Copeland's injury is a very, very serious situation. I appreciate you asking about Adam's condition. I can't speculate on what's going to happen. Adam, since he arrived here, has really been fantastic for us these last couple of years. He came back from a major injury last year at Double or Nothing after a long layoff, and he's just been absolutely fantastic since he's been back. I mean, he had a great run as the two-time TNT champion. Was never beaten for that title, broke his leg and was out for the rest of the year, and came back at the end of 2024 from the very first episode of Dynamite on Max, from the first ever simulcast show. Adam's been back. He's been a huge part of AEW, and tonight things took a dark turn. And Adam and FTR, that's a friendship that goes back many, many years, long before I knew any of those guys. They've been friends for so long, so to see something like that happen is a terrible situation, and worst of all, Adam's hurt. So I just hope Adam isn't out too long, and hopefully he'll be back with us, because he just got going again. He's been doing so great. Thank you.
2 more questions.
All right. I have a question for the both of you. Again, Derrick Lewis with the D-Lew podcast on Believe Network. For Tony, I know the company has been around 6 years and leaps and bounds, and I'm so proud of what you guys are doing. Has there been any discussion about the possibility of a development for an AEW app And for Renee, I just have one question. Are the Leafs going to do it this year? That's all I got.
No, man. Don't point that at me.
You take that.
We'll see what those guys bring to the table. I love me some Leafs, bleed blue, but sometimes they let you down. So I'm not really willing to like put all my eggs in that basket. We'll see.
That's TNT Sports would love this great synergy. That's two of their great programs being covered in one.
Yes.
That's a great question. So as far as the design of an app, certainly that is a priority for us. It's a great question. It's definitely something we're now that, frankly, under our current, our media rights agreement has grown, evolved, and changed, and there are things we have the ability to do that contractually I didn't necessarily have the ability to do a couple months ago.
Gotcha.
So I'm very excited about that. It's been a really great year. I think that's a great question, and we're developing and adding a lot of things in AEW in 2025, a lot of firsts this year for us, starting with the first ever simulcast, and that's a great question about the app, and it's definitely something that we're working on thinking about, because it's now, frankly, there are things we could do with an app that we might not have been able to do a few months ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Jay Nice with BTA Philly. Tony, congrats tonight. First, Renee, I would have took you as a Diet Coke girl.
I am, but there was none left in catering. It was
yeah.
the end of the night, and I just needed a little something.
Yeah.
So I went full Coke.
Yeah.
I think we deserve
Respect.
it. It's
You
late.
did. You earned it.
Yeah.
You earned it.
I mean, I'm not gonna finish it. Let's not go crazy. Let's have a couple sips.
This is like a fuller
Yeah, let's calm
situation.
down a little
This
bit.
is good.
But Tony, congratulations. We here in Philly, we pride ourselves on being, I think, the best wrestling fans in the world. What took you so long to give us a pay-per-view, man? When are we going to get another one, and why did it take so long?
We were going to come, frankly, it was something that was going to happen had the pandemic not hit. Then the pandemic hit, and when we came back, one of the first big shows we actually did, the 2-year anniversary show was here, and it's where Hangman came back and won the Casino Ladder match to get the shot at Full Gear 21. And then the wheels kind of in motion. Frankly, we had done a lot of Northeastern pay-per-views in nearby markets, and this was always a crown jewel that we've been wanting to come to for years. To me, this is one of the greatest wrestling cities on the planet, on the entire world, and for a show like tonight with so many great moments, there are so many things that I think were so Philly. There's Philly moments. Like, to see some of these things that happened tonight, I just thought this was the perfect place, and really great night, great crowd support, and knowing all the great things we had on tap, I thought that this crowd would deliver, and they absolutely did. These are great fans, and I can't wait to bring more AEW TV back here, and just because it was the first pay-per-view we've done, believe me, I want to do a lot more here. It was a long time coming for sure, and frankly, the lockdown changed a lot, because for about a year and a half, all the pay-per-views were in Jacksonville, and we would have been here then. And we've really come out swinging since then. I appreciate you asking. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for all coming tonight. Tony, congratulations. Another dynasty under your belt.
Yeah.
Hell of an evening.
It was great. We really, we did a lot of great things. Last year we started a great tradition here with Dynasty. I think we had a great show last year. This year we came in, we had an even bigger crowd. We've really grown the company in the past year since the last Dynasty. We've done some amazing things. And I really appreciate all of you being here. I know a lot of you have been covering AEW since the very first show. I really appreciate that. And thank you for being with us. This has been a really exciting year for us, and it's only beginning. There's so much to look forward to. I hope I was able to answer almost everyone's question, or at least one question. And if I didn't, between the pre-pay-per-view press call and between this scrum today, thank you for being here, and I promise I hope to try and answer your questions next time. Thanks for covering AEW, and everyone watching at home. I really appreciate you. Thanks for staying up late with us. Frankly, the company in the past week, I haven't talked much about it, but in the past 2 weeks, it's no secret, the company got bit hard by an injury bug, and I think the roster and the locker room really rallied hard. To lose wrestlers like Orange Cassidy and then Jay White back-to-back weeks, those are two of the top stars in the company, and we would have loved to have had both of them here tonight. And I think everybody on the roster, women and men, everybody stepped up and delivered a great show tonight. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here tonight.